And we're live. Hi everyone, we are back with yet another vlog. Usually I do these vlogs on a weekly basis, but this week I got sick and the stuff I wanted to show you, I wasn't there. And therefore I was ready to just skip this week, get some more footage within the next week and release the vlog next Sunday. But the reason why I want to bring up sickness within this vlog is that of course it's a main part of life and it sets you back for some days and you don't get to vlog the things you want to vlog. But other than that, to me it also showed as a stress response to all the things, all the stuff that had happened in such a few days. It's really so many things just crammed into less time than you would usually spread it over. So much practicing and so much interacting with people and planning and so forth. New music, new ideas, new teachers, everything. And I think me getting sick was kind of a stress response. Also, I have eczema and I've had it for as long as I can remember. I've been tested for allergies and intolerances and sensibilities and whatnot, but we haven't found anything yet. My eczema gets worse when I'm overly stimulated or stressed out, and these past days it has just been worse than it has been for I think 2 years or something. I had it down my arms and down my legs. My face was covered. Especially my eyes, so I just look like a zombie most of the time. And it's kind of weird because now I'm slowly getting over my sickness, but the eczema still shows and I just look dead, pretty much. So my reaction to stress is very visual. So although I didn't feel stressed at any point, my body definitely showed that I had to take a step back, and I didn't, so I ended up with a shitty immune system and I just got sick. Of course not everyone has eczema to tell them whether they're overly stressed out or not, but I think within everybody there is a reaction to stress, and I think some of the common ones are increased appetite or lowered appetite, anxiety, stomachache, sickness, and whatnot. I think I've heard those before, and I think if you're actually mindful about your body, you'll know when to take a step back and when to push further.
It's not television, right?
We're here in this space together. There's a chance to converse, to connect. What do you say we all make a little contract? And this contract says the more you risk, the more you are rewarded. That is to say, if you're daring of the heart, if you're courageous enough to tell the truth, this show could get very, very interesting. But if you're fearful, if you're withheld, if you're a smartass, meaning if you tell a joke instead of the beautiful truth, this show will end in your own self-inflicted disappointment. From this point on, the show is in your hands. So, if you come away from the show saying, I don't know, it was kind of boring, it's 85% your fucking faults.
To be able,
What?
To be able to express my feelings through music.
To be able to express your feelings through music.
Right now, I don't feel that I'm a good enough musician to always be able to express my feelings through my instruments and my songs. So I thought if I was better at playing, I would be able to express myself better.
Write everything down he just said. Write every single word down this gentleman just said. Don't skip a word.
All right.
Let's just do the shortcut version. Dream bags closed, motherfuckers.
So there we go with a few thoughts about sickness. I wanted to talk about the bands I'm currently in and the pieces of music which we are practicing. So you all know that I'm in a jazz band, and within the jazz band we've been practicing 3 tunes so far, and we have 2 more coming up for the day after tomorrow. So you've all heard me practicing Samurai Hee Haw by Mark Johnson. I have a jazz poster behind me to just point some of the artists out, but I couldn't find Mark Johnson up there, which was pretty weird. I guess he's there, I just can't find him. Then we've been practicing Sissy Strut by The Meters, and last but not least we've been practicing Nothing Personal by Don Grolnick, and this one says as played by Michael Brecker, and I can find Michael Brecker up here, I can show you his face. When we're practicing with the jazz band, we usually play the part A, go right into part B, and then we go back to part A, but one of us play a solo over the entirety of part A, or when we just call for continuation, and then we go for part B, play the melody, go back to part A, and then there's another solo. And then we just go back and forth between part A and B, where part A will be a solo. And then we finish the tune. It's quite fun playing this way because there's a lot of improvisation, and I haven't been improvising that much, so I'm really getting challenged. One of the, I think, easier parts of it is that we are mostly playing our solo over 1 chord, and then that's it. Another thing which challenges me is having to comp over just 1 chord, accompanying a solo with just 1 chord. So in Nothing Personal, this chord is a G minor major 7, and then finding some ways to make a G minor major 7 sound nice and making everything sound interesting, that's pretty tough for me, and I have yet to build a toolbox of great approach chords and just fast changes within the form which just doesn't clash with the bass line or clash with the melody, or well, not the melody because there's a solo. Does anyone get what I mean? Now, other than the jazz band, I'm also part of a band within our studio engineering workshop, which I have some footage from. Within this footage we play The Chain by Fleetwood Mac, which is a great song, and I play the piano in this small setting. Also, I'm part of 2 bands where I play the saxophone. One of them is a is we strangely call it Hour of Tower, which is a misspelled Power of Tower band, of course, or Tower of Power, whatever it is. But I play the saxophone in this cover band, and it's very fun, very funky. Also, I got hijacked yesterday to play saxophone in some other band, and I'm not really sure what kind of music we're supposed to play, but I look forward to doing this. So currently there's 4 bands, and I'm already having a hard time preparing for just the jazz stuff, and getting the grasp on these new types of music, because I've never played jazz fusion music at all. So that's quite fun. But the point being that it's I probably shouldn't take in more or be part of way too much more than I currently am, or I might just not be able to add value at all to any of these bands. So there's that. Oh yeah, also on top of having all this material to practice, which is nice, it's very nice to have something specific to work on, but just getting back to the basics, learning my triads and my inversions and my scales. There has to be room for these things too. Making up some new voicings, playing 2-5-1s in major and in minor. I have yet to touch minor. I have no idea how it works, but I guess there's a lot of possibilities within that. Learning approach notes and chords which approach other chords. Just like playing this G minor major 7, you could pretty easily go from an F sharp or an A flat, or go from a D7. A lot of stuff. There's definitely a lot of stuff to work on, just besides the material. I'll go point at the poster.
Det samme for musikerne, hvis der er et eller andet allerede i starten af nummeret, især hvis det er trommeslager, bassist, som jo er vores rytmegruppe, som er sådan fundamentet i det hele. Hvis der er et eller andet, I er utilfreds med, så er det altså ikke så nemt at klippe et grundbånd. Man kan sagtens klippe et enkelt instrument ind til noget tromme-bass, som fungerer godt. Ikke? Det laver vi lige. Okay, ind til hegnet. Prøv lige at spille igen.